Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I am here to share with you my second of the week Facebook Live. I come to you every Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday, and every Thursday for simple and stepped up stamping. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a little bit of simple stamping, and then we're going to step it up, glam it up, and see what we come up with. It's great to start with stamps, ink, and paper, and then add in a few bits and bobs and see how we can make things really come to life. But simple is still really beautiful and good because we're using Stampin' Up! Products, and Stampin' Up! Has the very best paper crafting products on the market. So I'm using one of the new in colors again today. Hey Jill and Judy, I'm glad you're joining me. So yes, we are doing some new in color training. So that's one of the things I love to do when we have new in colors is introduce them a little bit at a time. We get 5 each year, and then work with them and figure out how to use them with our other colors that we already have. Because they're beautiful on their own together, but typically we're going to be using them with our other colors. So let me get us pulled up here on my computer so that I can see what you are seeing. And we had a really, really heavy thunderstorm last night. One of my team members was here earlier, and she lives in Castroville, and they had, I think there was a tornado that touched down near them. And they had hail. They lost electricity at their house for quite a while. Thankfully, we never lost electricity, and we didn't get any hail because we just finally got our roof, a new roof from the last hailstorm. So I'm glad that we did not get hail in at least in our neighborhood. Hey, Betty and Melissa, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So I did send out on my email news that today is the very last day to sign up for my stamping bingo night, which is next Thursday, because packets have to go in the mail tomorrow. So if you haven't already signed up for that and you're wanting to do that, make sure you get in on that. And if you're not on my email news, I usually have the link here in my video when it's finished. It's also on my Sweet Stamper Facebook page, but you can also just send me a message and I will hook you up that way. So, okay, we got a lot to cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the camera down. And hey, Laura, I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's see what we're going to see today. And we are going to, I can't show you anything more than the cover of the new catalog, but we are delving into those new in colors. So I wanted to at least put that out and let you see. This is the beauty of the new Stampin' Up! Catalog. If you don't already have one and you need one, please let me know. I have already sent mine out to my customers and people who were needing one. So, and Melissa Madura, I think you are new here, so a double welcome. And Gail, it's good to see you here today. So what I want to talk to you about is, well, before we go into new in colors, let's do a little quick review of Tuesday, Teach Me Tuesday. We were working with Pale Papaya. So this is, let me back up even a little bit more. This is simple and stepped up from last Thursday, and we were focusing on Pale Papaya. Definitely a quick favorite for me. I love oranges, and so this is just a lovely, lovely in color. I'm liking it a lot, and we were using a particular color scheme that pairs the Pale Papaya with basic gray and a little bit of Calypso Coral. So that was last Thursday, and then Tuesday we did some wedding wonderfulness, and so we were featuring this retiring stamp set called Last a Lifetime, and sorry, I'm trying to find this where I can actually see your comments. And Facebook sometimes just really works for me on this computer, and sometimes it really doesn't, and it is typically just frustrating. So So we did a fancy fold, and we used this particular color scheme, which is Pale Papaya with Mary Merlot and So Saffron. So I did this one off camera, this one on camera, and we just colored with sponge daubers. I love the look of this color scheme. I think it's extremely elegant, and I'm really, really happy with it. So hey, Dudley and Kathy and Twyla, welcome. Terry Lynn's here today. All right, we got a good group forming. So, and this also, I will just show you really quick. I did end up sharing this on my blog so that you can get the all the instructions. So I put the inspiration sheet here as well. So there's a little gift card or cash holder in there. And I actually have 2 weddings coming up in June. So I am ready for action with these. And hey, Marlene, I'm glad you're here. We also colored the ribbon with the new Pale Papaya Stampin' Blends marker. These things will be available beginning May the 4th. This stamp set, though, is retiring, so if you want that, you do need to get it now. I'm actually going to feature this die again today. It's a new die set called Tailor Made Tags, and I really, really love it. Okay, we are going to work today with Fresh Freesia, and this is my in-color combo chart that I'm working with. And I will tell you that I'm working on a way that I can deliver these to folks. I've had a number of people requesting these. Printed and ready for you to use in your stamping or crafting space. So I'm working on an option for that in May, so be patient, please. This is Fresh Freesia, and this is the way it stacks up against our other purples. So you can see that in our purple families, currently, we have Blackberry Bliss, and we have Rich Razzleberry, which are much more pinky, ready purples. And then we have the more bluey purples, which are Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. And right smack in the middle, we have the brand new Fresh Freesia. And I love it because it has some kind of chameleon aspects. It goes really nicely with these more pinky purples. It also goes really nicely with these bluey purples. So I'm really happy with this purple. It's unlike any of our others. Welcome, Simone. It's great to see you here. So lots of cool things that we can do. I'm going to be using this color coach. And this is the one card I had demonstrated previously, introducing the new Fresh Freesia. And this is just monochromatic. So all I've done here is use sponge daubers to put on a little bit of Fresh Freesia. This is the new gorgeous, gorgeous in-color ribbon. It's called Open Weave Ribbon. Comes in all the new in-colors, and you're going to love it. Okay. So let me show you what we're going to do today, because I am going to pull in this stamp set, which is one of the stamp sets in our spring catalog. So it's and actually, I would say it's only available through the end of June, but this made it into our new annual catalog as well. Garden Wishes, and this is actually part of what they call a mega bundle, or a mega suite, I should say, because there's actually 2 stamp sets and they work together, coordinate together beautifully. I've actually done a lot with this set already, and I will give you just a quick peek at those, and I will do a very quick showcase of this. I actually featured this stamp set and the papers and things at my spring retreat. So let me just show you our make and takes from spring retreat, because everybody got the Memories and More cards and envelopes. And we made note cards. These are little stickers that come with the Memories and More pack. Hey, Mary, I'm glad you're here. This is one of the boxes that is in the spring catalog. Decorated it up, so very nice for gift giving. You've got everything ready to go there. These cards and envelopes, again, are in the spring catalog. And look how you already have, this is already printed, and this envelope is as well. So these are really nice, and then you can just add little bits and pieces to them. So this was using the Memories and More. There's a coordinating die that has a large and small dragonfly together. There's these adorable little ladybug trinkets. Here's a traditional size card, because these are 4x6. Here's, again, just super, super simple. And let's see, last but not least, there's another one. And these are stickers that are part of the Memories and More kit, which I think I might have handy or not. Yeah, don't know where that is quickly. So these are the name tags that we made, this little easel tag. And let me show you, because we did a lot with this particular suite. This was the set of make and takes that everybody got if they came to the Thursday class, and we used some retired note cards and envelopes. You may have some of these little scalloped ones sitting around, and there's so many things you can do just using, you know, some of the designer paper, some of the Memories and More cards and packs. So we did lots of fun things with them. I am going to, when we step up, I am going to bring in that dragonfly punch. I think it's a really cool punch to use. So this is that designer paper that goes with this suite. So you can see, you can go in a lot of different directions color-wise with it. And of course, today I'm going to go in a totally different direction because I am going to go in the direction of the new in color Fresh Freesia. Let me see, I've got a couple more in here. One of my team members I commissioned to do some things when this stamp set first came out. And let me show you some of the things that she did with it. This was the paper from the holiday catalog. So if you got a hold of that one, look how nice it looks with the purples. And this is kind of more the direction we're going today in the purples. Here it is with Misty Moonlight. And I believe these in color note cards and envelopes are still in the retiring stuff. And it's, I believe that they are marked down. Let me show you a couple more purples. Here's another really pretty one here. This one is done by another one of my team members. This was Shirley Lynn Scott, did this beautiful. See, there's dies that go with this. Lots of cool things you can do with this mega suite. So let's see what we can do today, going super simple and then stepping up just a little bit. This is my color scheme. I'm using Fresh Freesia with Granny Apple Green and Gorgeous Grape. I think we're going to have fun with this. So what we're going to do, let's start by stamping our dandelion. So I want to stamp the dandelion, and I actually want to make the dandelion a multicolored stamped image. And the best way to do that is to use your Stampin' Write markers. So sometimes people ask, why do I need the markers and the blends? And you don't have to have both. I use both, and there's a reason for that. So the Stampin' Write markers allow me to do what's called direct to rubber technique. So I'm going to use the brush tip end, because you see there's a brush tip here and there's a fine tip here, and you can see on the outside, so you don't have to open up each, each tip or each, what's what I'm looking for, lid. So I'm just painting, really. It feels like you're kind of painting fingernails when you do this. And I'm just painting my stem and my leaves with the Granny Apple Green marker. Now I'm going to go in with the darker purple here. This is Gorgeous Grape, and I want the brush tip again. And I don't want to use the tip. I just want to use the side because I'm covering a large space here. And I don't want to mash the tip and get it all fuzzy and blurry and all of that. So let's go here. And then what I'm going to do, sometimes this will have dried a little bit, so I'm just going to breathe on it. Sometimes we call that huffing. And then I am just going to stamp it on my little piece of basic white cardstock. Now, this is just a 4 by 2 1/4 piece. And so I've got this very soft, very pretty. It is a multicolored stamped image using just one stamp. And I was able to do that with my Stampin' Blends markers. Now I'm going to pick up my blender pen, and I'm just going to do a little bit of stroking here. And what that's going to do is it's going to blend out that granny apple green so that I have a little bit more of it, and it's filling in those leaves just a bit for me. Now, let's take the fresh freesia, and there is a little fill-in, whoa, I just about knocked that off on the floor. There's a little fill-in stamped image, but it can be a little bit dark if you do that, and I'm wanting to have a really pale purple on top of this, so I'm going to stamp it off once, and then boom. And look how pretty that is. So I have these two purples there, and I have the granny apple green. And that's just very, very simple, but it's very, very pretty. Now, before I put all of this away, I'm going to do my second one because, no, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. Because I'm going to step it up and do something a little bit different on my stepped up. Okay, let's go back to what we're doing with our simple card. I have in my little hand here, I have a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and you can kind of see where I'm going here. And I have this is just a half sheet. And Diane, I'm glad you love this stamp set. And hey, Judy, you came on as well. Good to see you ladies. Glad you could come and hang out with me and craft with me or get inspired, one or the other, or maybe both. Now, I also have in my little basket over here, I have a couple of strips of cardstock, and I'm going to just layer my 3 colors. And these are just 3/4 inch strips of cardstock. And I'm going to put them a little bit kind of the top third of my card. And I think maybe I'm going to go dark and then light. There's a lot of different combinations you could go with. But I think I'm going to go dark, medium, and light. And like I said, this is just a half sheet of, what do you call it, crumb cake. And I'm using Gorgeous Grape. And I'm using, well, food. Let me grab my adhesive mat here. It's not an adhesive mat, it's a silicone mat. This is Gorgeous Grape, and this is just 4 1/4 by 3/4 inch. Let me just pull this over here so I get it straight. I don't have it very straight, so let's try again. Okay, that's better. Now let's go with the Granny Apple Green. I think this is such a bright, fresh color, particularly with anything that's kind of garden, nature oriented. I'm just going to butt that one right up against it. And then I'm going to take my fresh Freesia. Now, if any of y'all, while I'm working here or even later, would like to share my video, it really helps me. So share away and spread some creativity to your Facebook feed. God knows we need something positive on our Facebook feeds. Okay, so that is where I'm going there. And then somewhere here is my, oh, there we go. So that is just going to go right there. Super, super simple. And I was going to do this, but honestly, it looks kind of cute if I do it a little bit off kilter. So let me know what you think about my off kilter. Hey, Velma, I'm glad you're here. And I have this little hello, just ever so small. And I could just put it right here. I think I might. Instead of putting it down here, I think I'm going to put it right there. I mean, we are talking ultra, ultra simple. But look how a beautiful color scheme just comes to life with a little bit of stamps, ink, and paper. I am going to go with my darker purple because for a greeting, it's going to show up a little better. Now, especially with these little tiny guys, I like to stamp it first to make sure. See, I did not mount it straight. So, with the sticker. So I'm going to have to go a little bit like so. Okay, there's my little hello. Super sweet and simple. Stamps, ink, and paper, nothing else involved. Now what I could do just to add a little something something, is add a little Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella, oh yeah, is gonna make that flower. I don't know if you can see, it's got a little shimmer and shine now. And you know, Wink of Stella also kind of blends those colors together a little bit. So that, I think, was the perfect little bit. So I'm glad you like the colors. This is a Stampin' Up! In recommended color scheme. Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, and Granny Apple Green. So let's go ahead and put this down, and then we're going to do another version, and we're going to step it up a little bit and see how we can go from simple to stepped up and get a totally different look. Now you see it's very nice this way, but I do think that off kilter is just cuter. So there we go. Very, very simple. Very, very sweet. Hey Peggy, I'm glad you're here. We're doing simple stamping, and then we're going to do stepped up. And we are working with a new color, and it is Fresh Freesia. Okay, this time what I'm going to do, I think, we'll see how this goes. I think I am going to stamp that on this little tag. This is that sweet little tag that I was using for the wedding card over here. Okay, so I used it here on Tuesday, and now I'm wanting to do a totally different look with it over here. So let's see what we can do. My stamp is here, and I'm not even going to clean it because I'm using the exact same colors. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going back in with the tip of my Gorgeous Grape. And I think the other thing about this is that, you know, in nature, these dandelion heads are white. But, you know, when we're coloring and when we're creating and when we're making our own cards, they don't have to be exactly like they are in nature. We get to have, you know, a lot of license with our designing and just make them the way we want to make them. It's part of art. I mean, if you look at some of the most popular or maybe valuable paintings in the world, sometimes they're not terribly realistic, sometimes they are. But they always have a lot of heart and soul in them. That's kind of the nature of art. Okay, it's not going to quite fit. That's okay. Kathy, these are your favorite elementary school colors. Happy to see them available. I'm so glad. Ooh, look at there. I'm liking it. So now we're going to do some of the same things, but then we're going to also going to add a few things. So let's clean this because we're done with it now, and I'm going to be good and have this ready to be put away. My assistant Darlene is here in the studio today. We are working on a big swap. I host a big swap for a group of Stampin' Up! Leaders, and it is a lot of work. It's definitely a labor of love, but it puts into the hands of a lot of our leaders excellent samples ready to go for our new catalog when it goes live. Now, this is my half sheet of crumb cake cardstock. And I will say, I have a couple of options here. I can still go with this. I'm still going to put these down first. But what I was thinking was, I could, depending on what you guys think, I could add this as a layer. And I could do a basic white card base and just add that as a layer. Is that too much white or is that good? I think it might be too much white. So I'll kind of wait to hear what you guys say, but I think that I still want to go with this and not with this. But I was thinking I might add this little doily underneath there. I think that's kind of a nice look. So I was just kind of looking to see what I had. Oh, and this little guy. You know, on these tailor-made tags, they have these little reinforcements. And I think, yeah, Laura, you said too much white. I agree. I think this is going to be a really nice little something something. Let me grab my liquid glue, which I'm going to use very sparingly. So now you like the layer on the crumb cake. Emboss the layer. Well, now we're really getting stepped up, which I can do to a degree because it kind of depends on what I've pulled over here to my little stamping area, my little stamping live, not stamping live, Facebook Live area. That would be a nice element, Peggy. I think the embossing folder would definitely be. Let me look at the time and see what I can do here. This is not coming out, and I don't want a big splodge of it. Well, let's see. Oh yeah, we're actually really good on time. Okay, we like the doily. Yeah, I think the doily adds that nice little bit of softness. Well, phooey. This is not doing what I want it to do. Haha, do I hear it coming out? Nope, not yet. Well, I've got to pick a tool around here somewhere. Let's see. It's right in front of me because I was going to use it. And see, this is what happens when I've got Darlene here. She's coming to my rescue. Hey, Susan, I'm glad you're here. Hello to you. We are our little creative community here of virtual crafters. My little virtual design team. I'm pulling in a little bit of extra, that little bit of fresh Freesia. So let's go ahead and bring this, and I honestly think that this liquid glue is going to be better for this anyway. These little strips are better with the liquid. You know, I use the liquid glue a lot, but I also use the seal a lot, and I think that, you know, you kind of have to go with what you're most comfortable with, but like I said, I think they just have different uses, and I think both of them are important and need to be in your little tool / adhesive kit. Okay, so once you get that first one straight, then the others, let me make sure I'm straight. Once you get the first one straight, then the others will come right in. There we go. Okay, then we're gonna go, we went dark and then medium and then light. The thing you have to be vigilant about is you have to use a spare hand with the liquid glue, because although it dries clear, it's shiny, and you don't want all that shiny glue hanging out of the edges of your elements on your project. Well, you know what, Peggy? I think that the embossed layer would be phenomenal, and I would love to see you make that card and share it with us. Not sure if you have the dandelion, but if you didn't have the dandelion, you could do the same concept. I do like that, and that's looking kind of cool. Now, do we do this and then do the, oh yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna put this down with seal, and then we're going to draw this in a little bit. And let's see, seal is right here. I think, you know, with the doilies, you don't need a lot, because especially since I'm going to cover this in the middle. So I think, maybe, oh yeah, I think that's better. We'll just bring that down a little bit and let more of the doily hang out at the bottom. So now I think we are ready to put this on some dimensionals. And then we're going to see what other little bits and bobs we have. We are going to put the hello down on the bottom of the corner this time. And let's see what else we can come up with. I've got a few other little things up my sleeve to add just a little something. Because I think that when you're taking something simple and stepping it up, and take the exact same design and step it up with some embellishments. Step it up with some ribbons. Stamp it up, step it up with a little bit of bling, with some texture, with different things like that. So I have, right, oh, there's my big tool. I was looking for that. Hey, Barb, I'm so glad you're here. And Tammy, yay. And Tammy, you're always looking for a way to use the the vellum doilies. I think they're a little bit more challenging than the ones that we used to have, which were well, I like all the round ones. These are the little dragonflies. And I had a bunch of these left over. These are actually punched from the, what do you call it? The brass foil, which is retiring, which I think is a little bit of a shame because I do like it. It's a really golden yellow, yellowy gold is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. It was something I was going to get. What was I going to reach for? Let's go ahead. Oh, I never did put the other color in the middle here. Lord have mercy. Okay, here we go. See, this is what happens when Candy gets to yakking. Here we go. Now Darlene's laughing at me. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this is going to work because I have dimensionals underneath here. Let's see. Let's stamp it off here. And let's see. I think since it's a fill-in stamp, haha, look at there. Save the day. Let's do a little wink of Stella in the middle again, and I think we probably only need one of those dragonflies. I was going to grab the Dragonfly Punch. Is really, really awesome. So I love that you get a big one and a little one. And with these little ones, I think what happened was I just had some little leftover strips of the foil, and we just cut a whole bunch of them out. And, oh, Kathy, welcome. I didn't even see you here. So you like the dragonflies. So what I'm needing to figure out is if I just want one or if I want two. I think 3 would probably be too much and kind of overpower because they are quite shiny. And I'm thinking maybe to put a pearl in the middle of my, and I think maybe we need a little bit of ribbon. We need a little bit of ribbon right up here. Even though I've got that cardstock there, it needs a little bit of ribbon there. So what I'm gonna do is, I think what I'm gonna do is let's grab linen thread. Look how it matches the crumb cake and kind of brings that color into the white. And because I don't have anything crumb cake in here, it is just my perfect background so that it really kind of sets off my colors. But I think a little bit of twine, and I think the nice thing about this is the color of my fresh freesia, which is what I'm really wanting to showcase, this brand new in color. But combine it with a couple of brights that are already in my collection. And I guess I need scissors. Let's see. So this is actually coming together nicely. You know, for anybody here that's new, I do virtual designing with you guys on here. I usually have a little bit of an idea of where I'm going to go, but I don't actually execute this until I get on camera. So sometimes that turns out great. Sometimes it's not quite what I was expecting. And I sometimes have to do a little major, what's the word I'm looking for? Major surgery on it when I'm off camera before I take pictures of it. But I'm actually really happy with this. So yes, I think that, Marlene, you're right. Putting the hello down here at the bottom is going to be the best way to add our greeting, because we don't want to put it up here. It would look crowded. So there is my little linen thread bow, which I'm liking a lot. So let's clean my little fill in. There has to be a better name for these stamps that color the images for us, but I don't know what that would be. And I was thinking about using this little bee stamp, but I've already got the dragonfly, so I think that would be a little bit much. So let's come back in with the hello. Let's clean it because it's got a little edge there. And, oh, you know what else I forgot to do? When I was doing my second stamping here, I didn't do, now you watch the difference here. This has, this is just stamped. Now I'm going to come back in with the blender pen and blend out that color, and look how it brightens it, fills that in just a little bit so that I have a little bit more of that green for my leaves. I think that's coming out much better. So now last but not least, sorry, I know I just wiggled the camera, and I do think that may be better over here than over here. Oh, that might look kind of nice. Let's see, you know, you kind of just start laying things down and voila, you end up with something that you really like. So let's come back in with the hello. And I'm going to stamp it again because I can't remember. I think that I mounted it a little bit. Yeah, let's see. Oh, you know what? It's a little bit crooked, but I think it works because everything else is a little bit crooked. I got a little bit of halo going there. Oof, not what I wanted. Well, I'll show you how to cover that up. Grab a little, just grab a little strip of white. Let me show you how you make something better. And it might be that we decide it's fine just the way it is. So if I want to, I can come in here and I'm just going to hand cut this. I'm not worried about it being perfectly straight. It's a tiny little word. It's a tiny little hello. Let's just trim that guy. What do we think? Do we like the white hello, or is it okay because it's a little bit crooked? Oh, Elaine, welcome, welcome. Now, yeah, Marlene's saying, what about one dragonfly? I think you might be right, and maybe we just want to do one here. Or maybe we want to do one up here. I think that ends up being a lot on this side of the card. So I can either do one dragonfly or I can do two. So I'll wait to, yeah, you like the white. Okay, well, you know, this is where when you have a little mess up, sometimes when you change it up, it actually, you know, you like the result. And I'm just going to grab a mini glue dot because this is just a small piece of cardstock. I don't want to have to mess with liquid glue and getting it splodging and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to do this. And, you know, honestly, because this is off kilter, I could even kind of do it like this. That's kind of cute. Okay, Peggy likes the two dragonflies. Okay, the white hello was a hit. So let's take two dragonflies, because I do think, because we kind of end up with a little three there, which is one of the things we're looking for with design usually. And I think that now that we had to end up doing a contrast here, yeah, and yeah, I think the dragonflies, you're right, Velma, I think they're good. I think these are good positions. Now, one other thing we might add, just a thought, we'll see what we think. Let's grab, I wonder how a mini pearl would look in the center of those dragonflies. Is that too much? Or is that kind of a nice look? Do we like that? Or do we want to leave it? It kind of pulls a little bit, obviously it pulls a little bit more white in, and also brings the shine of these dragonflies down a little bit, or is it too much? What do you think? Let me know what you're thinking. I do really, really like the color scheme. Oh, and you like the crooked, Melissa, thank you. I'm glad. You know, that's where you mess up and you just kind of, we've stepped this up considerably. So here is our original. We've made a tag instead of with a die cut. We've used the doily. We've added a little extra piece of cardstock here. We've added the dragonflies. We've added the pearls. We've added the linen thread. And yeah, so we've added a lot. I'm going to clear my space here a little bit and just tidy up while I'm waiting to see what you guys think about those extra pearls. Oh, now Terry Lynn likes the pearls. You know, sometimes you think, you know, could you possibly go wrong with more pearls? I'm not sure we could. You know, pearls, they may, you know, it may be that diamonds are a girl's best friend, but I think, you know, pearls are pretty close there too. Pearls are understated elegance, and they just add that little bit of something special. So Velma likes the pearls. Okay, we're getting good feedback on 3 pearls rather than just the one. And I say 3 pearls, but we have a large one in the center of our dandelion, and then just the little minis. I think they also add a little bit of texture to these, to our little dragonflies. I'm hoping I'm still well in camera. So I'm just kind of tidying things up a little bit here. I want to go back to our color scheme. Our what we used here was the Stampin' Up! Color Coach. And like I said, I'm looking at a way to deliver these into your hands. For those of you, I've used the link several times, but sometimes it started with a customer who contacted me and said, I don't have a printer. Can you print those for me? I was like, well, I could print them for you, but then I'm going to have to email them to you, and that's not going to help you. So how am I going to get them into your hands? And depending on where you live and all of that. So it's like, well, do you want just the in colors? No, actually, I want all the colors. So it's like, whoa, that kind of starts changing things there. That's not just popping a little something in the mail. So what do we think about this color scheme right here? Fresh Freesia Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, and Simple here, Stepped Up here. I actually really like them both. I will say this is perfect for brand new stampers. When you're wanting to help people fall in love with stamping, this is great because you're teaching them a technique, and that is how to use your Stampin' Right markers to make a multicolored image. You're also using a blender pen to add a little bit of color. So, and you're showing them how to use a color scheme, and that they don't have to come up with all the color schemes themselves. Stampin' Up! Provides us with these, and this is a great way to have a winning color combination. And Crystal, I'm glad you're here. Even coming late, we're happy to have you here. So this is our Simple, and this is our Stepped Up. So then when we stepped up for a more avid crafter, we could have stepped up just leaving, using the white panel, but we just ran it through a die cut. So you could still use this and employ all of these elements and get a stepped up version that does not involve using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So, and Kathy, I'm glad. Yeah, you're a newbie, and look what, I mean, that's purely stamped ink and paper. We did add a little wink of Stella. And yeah, so Judy, you like comparing them. And so we could have stepped up with all of these things and not done the die cut, and you still would have had a very stepped up card without using a die cutting machine. So I do like to kind of show that you have a lot of different options on stepping things up. So a punch is one of those early things that we get as far as building our, crafting supplies. And Tammy, there is a link. I will put the link up for the Color Coach, and then you can just download your own and enjoy it. And then I'm working on a printed version that will come to you in the mail as well, for those of you who don't have a printer, or maybe have a printer and you just don't want to be bothered, because I have some other people that told me the same thing. Well, I have a printer, but I don't have to mess with it. So yeah, Gail, you like the stepped up best. Yeah, and of course, when you're an avid stamper, you probably are going to like that. And I think that it does have a lot of feminine touches with the doilies and the pearls. I mean, doilies and pearls, yeah, you can't get more feminine than that, really. And I will say one thing I like about these doilies, because they're vellum, they're very understated. They're not like, in your face. They're very just soft and delicate. And, but if you were a new stamper and you sent this to someone, they would immediately know, this is not from Walmart. This is not from Hallmark. This was made by someone. And so there's a lot of heart in it. And I think that's the mark of good art, is it has a lot of heart in it, has a lot of feeling in it, has a lot of soul in it. And So yeah, that's it for today. Simple and stepped up stamping using the new Fresh Freesia. This was the previous card that I did with Fresh Freesia. Beautiful new in color. It's a beautiful purple. I think that we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And that is it for today. I need to get back to some other things that I've got going here. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support here and your enthusiasm for making pretty things with paper. It's what we do with our stamping. And we have so much fun. It blesses us so much. And I will tell you just a little brief testimonial, as it were. Many of you know that I've been running a fundraiser for one of my team members. She's a single mom, and she lost her only child, which I can't even imagine. And Nick was just shy of his 18th birthday. So the visitation was on Sunday, and when I saw Martha, she said, you know, she was having so much trouble even getting out of the house because she didn't want to leave the house because then she has to come home and recognize for the first time in 18 years, almost 18, there's nobody there. And she comes home to an empty house and she just feels all of that. And she said, you know, I pulled out some scrapbooking pages and I found some pictures of Nick and I started doing some scrapbooking and I got a couple of pages done. And she said, I was just like, it lifted her spirit so much. And I think that's what our paper crafting does. It lifts our spirits. And whether you're scrapbooking or whether you're card making, you know, when we're scrapbooking, sometimes we're doing it just for us, but you know, when our kids and our grandkids, our loved ones, our neighbors get to look through those scrapbooks, it makes their hearts sing. And when we go back over those pages, we remember those good times. So that's the power of scrapbooking. And the power of card making is that this also lifts us up. And that power of creativity that lifts us up out of depression, out of feeling down about things. And then we pop that in the mail, or we even do a random act of kindness and give it to someone at the bank. You know, when you're not even going into the bank now, but you know, you can put it in that little tube at the drive-through. When you're going to pick up a to-go order and giving that card to the person who is waiting on you, whether you're doing it that way or whether you're mailing it to someone and saying, thinking of you, whether you're giving a little set of 6 handmade cards to someone as a gift to say, spread some kindness, share some love, do it. You'll love it. And so there's just so many ways that we can use our paper crafting to bless our own soul, but also to spread kindness and to share it widely. That's it for today. Please share my video. It helps me so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back here on Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday. Thanks again. Take care and God bless.